You're not exhausted. You simply lack discipline. You're not truly lost. You've just been surrounded by weak minds who've been feeding you lies your entire life. And deep down, you already know this. You've been playing small, living in comfort. And with every minute you continue like this, the man you were born to become fades further into the background. Ask yourself, how much longer will you let your purpose rot in silence? Most men will live and die unknown. That's the brutal truth no one wants to face. They'll wake up and hit snooze for the sixth time. They'll scroll aimlessly through apps. They'll chase shallow highs from screens. And they'll wander through life with no passion, no grit, and no purpose. They've made peace with being average. They've settled into comfort. And the worst part? They don't even realize they've become prisoners of their own lives. Look around. Men have traded purpose for distraction, drive for pleasure, and legacy for laziness. That is not masculinity. That is a faded shadow of what could have been. Their strength lies dormant. Their fire has gone cold. They've been fed lies since birth. Just be yourself. You're perfect as you are. No, you're not. You're soft. You're distracted. You're far from the man you were designed to be. Here's the truth. A man of value isn't born by luck. He is shaped by fire. And that fire? It's rejection. It's hardship. It's pressure. It's unrelenting self-discipline. He's built by overcoming setbacks, forged by pain, sharpened by suffering. You don't stumble into being high value. You decide to become him. You choose to rise when your body wants to rest. You choose to study while others numb their brains with junk. You choose to move forward when no one applauds, when no one notices, and when no one cares. That's what separates the respected from the forgettable. That's what gives a man worth, not what he says, but what he becomes. Most of you fear stepping into that man because it means killing who you are now. You have to bury the laziness, eliminate the comfort, destroy the weak beliefs you've carried since you were young. You can't step into strength while clinging to weakness. You can't chase power while living like a pawn. The man who scrolls endlessly, skips workouts, and hides behind excuses cannot walk the path of kings. And if you don't end him, he'll kill your future. Every day you refuse to grow is a day you choose to remain invisible. The real world doesn't care about what you could be. It only honors those who perform. It doesn't hand out prizes for trying. It bows to those who are disciplined enough to be dangerous. A high-value man enters a room and doesn't have to speak. His presence says it all. It's not about suits, wealth, or status. It's about inner strength. It's about self-respect carved into your core over years of effort. You can't fake this. You can't pretend your way to power. You become undeniable by becoming unshakable, by becoming the man who demands respect by simply existing. But hear this clearly. You don't become him overnight. You'll have days when everything in you wants to quit. Days where your body aches and your mind screams, give up. And it's in those moments, those quiet, brutal, unseen moments, where the transformation begins. This is where average men fold. But the man of value? He tightens his fists and says, I'm not done. That's the turning point. That's when you stop just doing and start becoming. And no, this isn't about being cocky or cold. A true high-value man is calm, focused, present. He listens deeply. He leads with strength. He tells the truth. He lifts others not for applause, but because his strength spills over. He doesn't chase attention. He attracts it. Why? Because he's built himself from the ground up. He's paid for it in pain, in time, in sweat, and in sacrifice. And this journey, it's not just about women, wealth, or aesthetics. Those are byproducts. The real reward is inner power. It's peace in chaos. It's the ability to say no when the world tries to seduce you. It's self-mastery, so complete that no person, no system, no circumstance can control you. That's true worth. That's what separates the great from the forgotten. And that man? He's already inside you. He's buried beneath layers of lies, addictions, distractions, and softness. But he's not dead. He's waiting, waiting for you to stop pretending, waiting for you to rise, waiting for you to finally stop making excuses and confront who you are. Because the moment you decide mediocrity is no longer acceptable, everything begins to change. People will treat you differently. Life will respond differently. Doors will open when you walk with purpose. So if you're sitting there thinking there's time, thinking you can ease into greatness, wake up. Time is not your ally. It's your fiercest enemy. It ticks by while you scroll, while you doubt, while you hesitate. Every minute wasted is a brick stolen from the empire you could have built. Being high value isn't a fluke. It's a choice, a decision reinforced 1,000 times every day through action. And if you're not ready to pay the price, then stay average. But never pretend like you didn't have the option. There was a time I was broken. Not just in my wallet, but in my spirit. I didn't always have direction. I remember sitting alone in a room that reeked of regret. The silence echoed every mistake I ever made. I had no mission, just distractions I mistook for comfort. I woke up late, lied to myself with tomorrow, buried potential under cheap pleasures. I wasn't living, I was existing. And deep inside, I knew it. Every day, I looked in the mirror and knew I was meant for more. But instead of rising, I rationalized. I told myself, I'm not ready, as if greatness waits for your permission. Then one day, I stopped lying. I saw myself clearly. Not the haircut, not the smile I put on for others. The real me, a man wasting his gift. I saw fear. I saw comfort. I saw weakness, and that realization hit like a punch. No compliment could cover the war happening inside. The hardest battle is the one between who you are and who you were meant to become. That day, I made a decision. I wasn't going to die as someone I couldn't respect. People think leveling up is glamorous. They think it's luxury and status. They don't see the early mornings when you hurt and no one's watching. They don't see the friendships you outgrow because they cling to average. They don't see the lonely nights where silence makes you question everything. And yet, you still choose not to quit. They glorify the destination. But becoming high value happens in the silence, in the grind, in the darkness no one claps for. When I started the climb, everyone around me doubted me. They mocked my choices, called me obsessed. And they were right. I was obsessed. Obsessed with becoming unbreakable. Obsessed with refusing to be average. Obsessed with becoming dangerous, respected, undeniable. And while they stayed the same, I evolved. Every page I read, every weight I lifted, every deal I chased, it wasn't for show. It was war. War with the weaker version of myself. I didn't do it to impress anyone. I did it to rescue myself from the quiet death of wasted potential. There were days I wanted to stop. Days I felt alone. Nights when my bank account mocked me. But I kept going because I wasn't chasing pleasure. I was chasing power. Power over my choices. Power over my mind. Power over my future. Because if you don't master yourself, someone else will. And I refuse to be a man who dies full of dreams but empty of courage. And slowly, the world began to shift. Not because it changed, but because I did. And those same people who once laughed, they started asking for advice. The same doors that once slammed in my face, they eventually opened on their own. But understand, this wasn't for recognition. It wasn't to impress women or rack up likes. I did it because I owed everything to the child I used to be. That kid who'd lie in bed, eyes locked on the ceiling, wondering if he'd ever measure up. I became the man he needed back then. That's what real self-worth is all about. It's becoming the version of yourself that your younger self would admire and your future self would thank. And if you're sitting there thinking this is just some overhyped inspirational story, think again. This isn't fantasy. I'm not claiming it's easy. I'm telling you it's critical. I'm telling you it's within reach, but only if you stop lying to yourself. The clock? It's not slowing down, and nobody is riding in to rescue you. There's no magic fix, no cheat code, only choices. Real, difficult, relentless choices every single day. The man who rises to value, he's the one who faces pain and converts it into growth. I was once just like you, unclear, directionless, overflowing with potential but paralyzed by excuses, until I decided to change. And then I poured obsession into that decision. If I could pull myself out of it, so can you. Not because I'm some rare case, but because every man is born with greatness inside him. It's just been buried under years of fear, softness, and settling for less. But once you start digging, once you start tearing away every false layer, you come face to face with something both terrifying and beautiful. You were never meant to be average. What's truly frightening about life isn't failing. It's looking back, full of regret, realizing you had the chance to become remarkable, but let it slip through your fingers. You let distractions rob you. You surrendered your future to comfort. And now you walk around pretending you're content, but your soul knows better. It's crying out for more. Every man dies, but not every man really lives. And many of you, you're not living. You're surviving, dragging your body through time, doing just enough to exist, but never enough to conquer. You think time is on your side. You act like it's not slipping away by the second. But here's the raw truth. Time has no mercy. It doesn't forgive laziness. It doesn't stop when you hesitate. It keeps ticking, dragging your untapped potential with it, until one day you wake up too exhausted, too old, too broken to fight back. And the cruelest part? You'll remember this exact moment. You'll remember reading these words, feeling that fire, and still choosing inaction. You'll look back and whisper, "That was my shot to change it all." And that whisper will haunt you far more than any failure ever could. The world's not against you. You're against you. Every excuse you tell yourself, that's a betrayal. Every time you say, "I'll start tomorrow," you're casting a vote against your own future. Discipline is the highest expression of self-respect. If you lack it, you're telling everyone, and more importantly, yourself, that your life isn't worth fighting for, that your dreams are optional, that your future is negotiable. And the hardest part? You know it. That's why it eats at you in silence. That's why you feel that weight on your chest when you're alone. That's why the quiet is so loud. Because deep down, you know you were built for something greater. There are no neutral days. Each day you waste, your rivals gain ground. Your competition is getting stronger while you scroll. That man who wants your spot, he's putting in work right now. He's lifting. He's learning. He's evolving. And you? You're justifying your stagnation with fake self-love. You tell yourself you're healing. You're just resting, waiting for the right moment. But in truth, you're hiding. You're protecting a weaker version of yourself, the one that should have been buried years ago. Comfort is the silent killer of greatness. The more comfort you seek, the further you drift from the man you were destined to become. It's not the man who fails that scares me. It's the one who settles. The man who had the fire, but let the world extinguish it. The man who got hit once and never stood up again. The man who traded his hunger for external validation. If you want to reach your highest level, you have to accept one truth. The version of you that's okay being mediocre, he needs to be laid to rest. That hesitant, unsure, weak man, he cannot come with you. He's excess weight. And if you don't bury him, life will bury you. But here's the good news, the hope. And it's real, not some feel-good fantasy. You can flip the switch right now, not next week, not after some emotional breakthrough. Now, change isn't mystical. It's brutal. It's intentional. You wake up and declare, I'm done playing small. Then you act. You install better habits. You erase the ones that hold you back. You show up day after day, even when no one's watching. Because this isn't for attention. This is for the man buried deep inside you, fighting to break free. You don't need a luxury car or millions to be valuable. You don't need a fan base. What you need is discipline, self-respect, a mission so strong it echoes through the room when you walk in. Becoming high value has nothing to do with showing off. It's about making impact. It's about moving through life with thunder in your step and purpose in your eyes. It's about being the man others admire, trust, fear, and love simultaneously. The man who doesn't break under pressure. The man who enters chaos and brings order. The man who writes his own story. And if you're thinking, I've already made too many mistakes, hear me out. Your mistakes don't define you. Giving up does. Every high-value man you respect, he was once lost, too. He was once broken, but he didn't stay there. He took that pain and shaped it, turned his shame into strength, refined his scars into sharpness. And so can you. But first, you've got to stop negotiating with your demons. You have to quit waiting for life to hand you courage. You have to build it, brick by bloody brick. Your mind will lie to you. It'll whisper, you're tired. You deserve a break. You've done enough. And if you give in, you'll rot. But if you push back, if you roar louder than those whispers, you'll rise. Victory and defeat are separated by one thing: how you speak to yourself when no one else is around. Self-talk is either your most powerful weapon or your deadliest poison. And most of you are using it to quietly destroy yourselves. You weren't created to be a bystander. You weren't designed for mediocrity. The fact that you're still breathing? That's proof. Your battle's not over. But now you must choose. Comfort or glory. Security or legacy. Distraction or dominance. Time is running out. The reflection in the mirror sees everything. And deep within you, a man is crying out to be reborn. This is your time. Don't let it pass you by. Becoming a man of high worth isn't just a label. It's a promise. It's a bold statement to the world that you refuse to accept mediocrity. It's choosing to endure temporary suffering so you don't suffer forever. It's understanding that life is indifferent to your emotions. It only reacts to your actions. Every moment you remain idle, another man is sharpening his skills. While you hesitate, he gets ready. While you indulge in weakness, he transforms himself into a weapon. And when the chaos comes, he takes control, not through luck, but through preparation. Success doesn't reside with those who seek comfort. It lives with those obsessed. If you're not prepared to surpass your limits, you'll never shatter your restraints. True power doesn't come from easy choices. It's earned through doing what's necessary, hitting the gym when you're exhausted, pushing forward when your tank is empty, and practicing discipline even when no one's watching. That's where men are forged, in silence, in hardship, in sacrifice. That's the difference maker between those who dream and those who do. Every man craves respect, but respect isn't handed to the loudest voice in the room. It's granted to the man whose actions match his words. The man who doesn't whine, doesn't plead, doesn't collapse. The man who faces trials and dares life to bring more. The one who brings order to disorder. Pressure doesn't crush high-value men. It unveils them. And if you want to become that man, you've got to stop dodging the flames and learn to stride through them. Whether you see it or not, eyes are on you, your family, your friends, your future children. They're depending on you to rise above excuses and become something greater. You don't ascend alone. When you grow, you inspire everyone near you to rise. That's the burden you carry as a man of high worth. You're the beacon in the darkness. You're the anchor in the storm. And if you don't fortify yourself into something unshakable, you'll crumble when life throws its first punch. You must be dangerous, but under control. Strong, but deliberate. A man who understands chaos, but masters it instead of becoming it. That's what true strength is. Anyone can snap. Anyone can lose control. But a high-value man stays composed when pressure builds, stays sharp in the middle of storms, and is deadly effective when it matters most. Be so stable that nothing can move you. Be so locked in that nothing can pull your focus. Because distraction is the new silent killer, and too many men are dying slowly because of it. You don't have time to waste on nonsense. Your vision needs to be so powerful that temptation vanishes. There will be days where you want to quit, times you feel hollow, moments where you question everything. That's the dividing line between boys and men. Boys seek motivation. Men cultivate discipline. Boys wait for approval. Men take the wheel. Boys need applause. Men stay silent and let their results speak. Becoming high value means you become your own source of fire. When everything around you turns black, you're the flame. When life grows cold, you're the warmth. When others fall, you rise. No one's coming to rescue you. Let that truth settle deep. There is no miracle moment, no restart button, no rescue strong enough to pull you from the abyss if you refuse to climb out yourself. The only person who can shape the life you envision is you, not your parents, not your partner, not your mentor. You. Pain is the price of growth. And every time you run from it, you stay broke. But if you face it, truly confront it, you gain riches in resilience, in integrity, in identity. That's real wealth. That's the kind of strength no one can steal. Being high value isn't a part-time job. You don't take days off from greatness. You embody it, inhale it, bleed for it. Even when you're drained, you maintain the standard. Because when you do, life starts opening doors you never imagined. Opportunities appear that only the disciplined recognize. The energy around you starts to shift. People begin to respond to you differently. Not because of how you dress, but because of who you've become. You've become rare, and rarity commands respect. Work in silence. Stun the world. Not by bragging, not by showing off, but by becoming such a force of nature that your presence alone echoes louder than any social media post ever could. Be the man who doesn't talk about his grind, but whose life is the evidence. Be the one who becomes legend, not because he announced it, but because the transformation was so real, so dramatic, so untouchable, that no one could look away. You don't need a decade. You need a decision. Right now. You need fire. You need dedication. You need to approach the next 6 months like your entire existence is on the line, because it is. A single year of unwavering focus can completely transform your family tree. One season of ruthless effort can lift you out of every failure, every shadow, and every unworthy version of yourself. But it requires cutting ties with your past and committing fully to the man you're meant to become. You want respect? Then earn it quietly. Craft a body that speaks louder than your words. Forge habits so powerful that failing becomes impossible. Collect so many victories that even your rivals respect you. Get up each morning and ask yourself, would the man I aim to be proud of who I am today? And if the answer is no, correct it. No complaining. No sulking. Fix it. That's what real men do. This is the age of kings, the era of lions. The weak are fading into the background while the strong rise. And you have two options. Watch it unfold or become the force behind it. You want to be a high-value man? Then don't just make changes, transform. Shatter every rule that told you to play it safe. Destroy every lie that said you weren't worthy. Stand in front of that mirror, look yourself dead in the eye, and say, today, I kill who I used to be and build who I need to become. Because no one's coming to do it for me. This is the turning point, the divide between onlookers and warriors. This is the threshold. This is where men either step forward or fall back. And deep down, you know, retreat is no longer an option. You've heard enough. You've felt the fire inside start to roar. But here's where most never make it: execution. It's easy to nod in agreement. It's easy to feel inspired for an hour. It's easy to say, I'm ready. But none of it matters unless your behavior shouts louder than your words. That's the difference between admiring the idea of a high-value man and embodying it. You have one life, one body, one mind, and the world is trying to corrupt all three. Each time you scroll past greatness to settle for garbage, you push your destiny further away. Each time you pick comfort over courage, you steal strength from your future self. The man you're meant to be is already within you, screaming to be let loose. But he'll never break out if you keep protecting your weaknesses. Stop making deals with mediocrity. Bury the version of you that accepted just enough. Because greatness isn't achieved by small improvements. It's achieved by obliterating anything that holds you back. Look around. This world rewards the fierce, not the fragile. It honors the victors, not the victims. Do you think anyone cares about your excuses? Think the world's going to pause because you had a hard day? It won't. It keeps moving. So either move with it, with fury, with focus, with full force, or fall behind and be replaced by someone who was willing to bleed for what you only dreamed of. You either rise into who you're meant to be, or watch someone else live the life you were too afraid to fight for. You want respect from men, admiration from women, fear from rivals, and self-worth rooted in discipline? Then stop waiting. Start forging. A high-value man doesn't wait for the spark. He builds momentum. He doesn't complain when life gets hard. He grins, because pressure makes diamonds. He doesn't beg for attention. His aura demands it. He doesn't chase shallow highs. He chases legacy. That's the level you need to reach. That's the reality you must face every morning. Hungry, cold, and dangerous. You don't have to flip your life in a day. But you do have to choose now. Not tomorrow. Not next week. Not when it feels easier. Right now. Because every moment you wait, your dream decays. Your future withers. The clock doesn't care if you're tired. Time isn't your ally. It's your enemy. And the only way to beat it is to outpace it. Run faster. Train harder. Think sharper. Live with more intention than anyone around you. Because while they're wasting their days, you're building your kingdom. There's no backup coming. No miracle on its way. No easy path to greatness. There's only the grind. The cold, painful, beautiful grind. The unseen sacrifices. The discipline that turns you into a machine. The mental toughness that makes you unbreakable. That's what defines a high-value man. And if you're not willing to sweat, bleed, and suffer for it, then be real with yourself. You don't want it. Because the man who wants it takes it. And the man who takes it doesn't care how long it takes, how much it costs, or how many times he has to rebuild. He becomes untouchable, unshakable, unmatched. You want to win? Then live like a winner. Eat like one. Train like one. Speak like one. Move like one. Think like one. Every breath should feel like purpose. Every step like a battle. Every move like domination. You weren't born to simply exist. You're here to take over. This world is yours if you're willing to claim it. But it won't be handed to you through comfort. You'll have to seize it by becoming ruthless, unstoppable, and unapologetically driven. Be so consistent, they call it obsession. Be so self-controlled, they call it emotionless. Be so committed, they call you insane. And when they do, smile. Because it means you've broken free. You're no longer one of them. You've become something else. You've separated. That's the goal. A high-value man is not average. He's not typical. He's not understood. He's feared. He's admired. and he's remembered. Think you're too old? Too far gone? Too late? That's a lie designed to silence the weak. The truth? The moment you flip that internal switch, truly flip it, your life is never the same. One primal decision can change your entire direction. One surge of pure determination can erase years of hesitation. And that moment is right now. You reading this, it's not random. It's a test. And how you respond determines everything from this moment forward. So stand up. Get vicious about your self-control. Get addicted to your purpose. Sharpen your focus like your life depends on it, because it does. Every day you stall, another man grinds harder. Every excuse you make, another man claims the prize. You want to become a high-value man? Then never again behave like anything less. Never again bow to comfort. Never again dim your light. Stand tall. Speak boldly. Walk like royalty. Move like a predator. And never let weakness control your life again. You weren't made to merely survive. You were born to dominate. You weren't created to blend in. You exist to stand out. You're not here to wish. You're here to build, conquer, and leave a legacy.